Hi guys, I'm from Tagalong Safari, and today what we're going to be looking at is one of the tours that we're doing, which is a trip to Botswana, to the country of Botswana. So this is to give you an idea of what to expect on this trip. So we'll start off by talking about the different types of safaris that there are. So there are luxury safaris where you go into a lodge and you pay $1,000 a night, somewhere around there, and you spend a few days in that spot, and then you fly off to a different spot and you spend a few nights or days there as well. And those are extremely expensive. So those two are what we are not doing. So what we will be looking at is walking safaris. And what a walking safari is that you've got a game ranger with you, and they will walk with you in the national park and show you the different paw prints of the different animals, and they'll teach you about the vegetation, animal habits, and you will see animals like the kudus, the eland, giraffes, and zebras. And essentially, it will be looking at animals that are not animals of prey. So it is quite safe. The other type of safari is the self-drive safaris. And with that, you fly into one of the safari countries and you rent a four-wheel drive and you drive around yourself and visit the various national parks on your own. And then the game drive safaris, that's where you've actually got a game ranger with you. So someone who will drive you around in a game viewer, which is a certain type of vehicle, and I'll show you a picture of that. And they essentially will tell you about the different animals that you see as you go. So the bottom three are the ones that we will actually be mixing and doing on our tour. So that's a walking safari, and you do drive yourself from one place to the other. Benefit of driving is that you see a lot more places on the ground. So you're not just flying from one spot to another, but you're actually driving and you're seeing what's in between the vegetation, the animals as you go along. So it will be a tag along, as the title says, where the game ranger will be driving the vehicle at the front, and you've got your own vehicle that you drive and you follow along as you go. Then when you get to a spot where you are now viewing the game, you then all go into a game viewer as a group of 8 people, and you view the game all day long and you listen to what the game rangers have to say as they describe the different animals, their habits, and so on. So this is a game viewer. So the game viewers that we have are Toyota Land Cruisers, four-wheel drive, so you don't get stuck, front diff lock, rear diff lock, so it can drive through water, sand, you name it. So this is a vehicle that is a game viewer. So the game ranger drives it and talks to you as you drive along, and you sit happily in the fresh air and the sunshine. So this is one of our tour guides, and this is Socks. So he's a very nice guy, tough guy, so he'll fight any lions if they dare come near him. Now, what will you experience on the safari? Different people like different aspects of being out in nature. Some love the animals, and you'll have lots of animals to see. The big five animals in Africa. So those are the lion, the leopard, the rhino, the buffalo, and the elephant. So those you get to see all five of them on our Botswana tour, plus more. There's a lot more animals like the giraffes, the hippos, all those animals you will see. So some people just love looking at the animals and learning about the different sounds that the animals make, being able to identify that this is a hyena sound, this is a lion sound, whereas others just love the birds. And for birds, if you go where there's lots of water, you're bound to see a lot of beautiful birds. So whether you love animals, whether you love birds, there's something for everyone. And then, of course, the other thing that people also enjoy is the landscape. So in Botswana, they've got different types of landscapes, and it's a desert country, but it's got lovely landscapes in different sections. Like there's a section called the salt pans, and I'll show you a picture of that later on. And that has got its own unique characteristics that you will not experience anywhere else. And of course, there's a local culture and the local food as well, which you will also get to enjoy on our tour. So the countries that we are touring at the moment, it's Botswana and Zimbabwe. And today's talk is mostly about Botswana. And in the near future, we'll expand our tours to include other countries in Southern Africa like Zambia, Angola, Namibia, and so on. So that is for the future. But for 2025, the focus is just on Botswana and Zimbabwe. There's more than enough to see in just those two countries. Question that everyone is first to ask when you talk to them about safaris is it safe? Well, I can guarantee you that Botswana and Zimbabwe are not at war. So from that angle, it's very safe. Botswana has never ever had a war, and Zimbabwe last had a war 44 years ago. So in terms of wars and safety, they're very safe countries. And of course, the other question is it safe to be amongst the wild animals in the national parks? And the answer to that is yes, it is safe, but it's important that you listen to what the game rangers tell you and you follow the rules and don't do anything silly like wanting to take a selfie next to a lion. As long as you don't do anything like that, yes, it is safe. And one thing that people often forget is that the concept of a zoo where you've got animals in a cage is foreign to Africa. So Africans have always coexisted with wild animals for centuries and centuries. And even today, if you actually go into the national parks, you'll be shocked to find that there's actually a village that's within the national park where you've got all those wild animals, the lions and everything. So it's all about coexistence. And every now and again, like if there's a drought, you'll find that the elephants will then go into the cornfields and eat the corn that has been planted. So you occasionally get that sort of altercation. But on the whole, there's really no problems with coexisting with animals. But as a tourist, the expectation will be that you follow the rules and you stay within the limited places within the national park that you are advised to stay in. So, as I said, you've got very well-trained and experienced game rangers, and they keep you safe. And in our particular tours, what we also do is we have rooftop tents on our vehicles. And I'll show you a picture of that just now, whereby every night you sleep in a rooftop tent, and these have got an opening at the top so you can see the stars as you sleep, and it is an amazing experience. You're not only looking at the stars, but you're hearing the different sounds throughout the night. You hear the sounds of the hippos, and you get to learn what that is, and just the life that's around you. And yes, it is safe. And this is something that I have done a lot where I go on safari and I sleep in tents and even on the ground tents, and it is safe. As long as, of course, you follow the rules and you don't go around wandering in the bush in the middle of the night, you're quite safe. Now, the country of Botswana, this is their country's flag, and it's got light blue with white, black, and it's mirror imaged. So this is a flag of Botswana. What is the motto of Botswana? The motto of Botswana is Pula, which means let it rain in the Tswana language. And the currency that is used in Botswana is also called the Pula. The exchange rate at the present moment for $1 to one Pula, it's roughly maybe $1 to about 10 Pula. So that's sort of like the average exchange rate. As a country, Botswana is about the same size as France, but it only has 2.4 million people. So it's a very sparsely populated country. Now, France, in contrast, has got 66 million people. So when you're in Botswana, you get to experience that freedom of not being in the crowds and the peace that comes with just being in open air and in a sparsely populated place. Languages that are spoken there. English is a media of communication. So if you speak English, you'll be able to find your way around without any problems if you decide to go and explore. The capital city of Botswana is Gaborone. So they pronounce it, G is like a ha. So it's called Gaborone. And this picture is not a picture of Gaborone, but this is a picture of what you will not get. So Gaborone is a city with about 250,000 people. So it's a small city and doesn't have the congestion and the traffic that you see in this picture that's depicted here. So you'll be actually taking a break away from all the hustle and bustle of everyday busy life, just coming and relaxing there. This vehicle, so the vehicles that will be part of what you pay for when you pay for the tour is a double cab Toyota Hilux. The North American equivalent of a Hilux, the closest thing you have is a Tacoma. Now, the ones that you will actually have will not be as fancy as this. I like this picture, so I put it on because this one has got a bash plate at the bottom. The wheels are all souped up and all sorts of fancy things. So the vehicles that you will be driving, it's actually just a stock Toyota Hilux, but it has got four-wheel drive and it has got a diff lock and it's fully equipped rooftop tent, everything that you need. And during your trip, you will also be traveling with a hostess or host, and you will also be traveling with your own chef. So each tour has its own private chef that goes along with them, and they look after all of your culinary needs. Tswana, the people of Botswana speak a language which is called Setswana, which is what's at the bottom here. And they're called the Tswana people. So if there's one person, it's Motswana, which is a Tswana person. If it's many people, it's Botswana, which is where the name Botswana is derived from. So Tswana are the people there. So the main language in the country is Setswana. Now, where is Botswana located? So this is a map of Africa, the southern part of Africa. If you look at the country that is marked in black, that is where Botswana is. So to the south of Botswana, you've got South Africa, and to the west of it, you've got Namibia, and to the east of it, northeast, you've got Zimbabwe, and to the northern side, you've got Zambia. Now, if you look at where Zambia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe meet, you'll find that there is a very special point that you don't get anywhere else in the world, and this is known as the Caprivi point. So this is a point where you've got 5 countries that all meet in one spot. So you've got Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Angola, and Namibia all meeting at one specific spot. And it's very interesting to have a border where you've got 5 countries meet. So this is now a blown up picture of Botswana, and you can see in the southeastern corner is where you've got Gaborone, which is the capital of Botswana. So that is down there. So that's where Gaborone is. So when you fly in and you will land in Gaborone, and that's where you will pick up your vehicles and you will be met by the hostess and the team that the hostess works with, and they will be with you for the rest of your trip. So when you arrive, you spend a few days in Gaborone and you get a feel of the city, a feel of the country, and see the people. And thereafter, we then start on the road trip. And this is primarily for people who enjoy overlanding, where you enjoy driving from place to place and you see what's in between, you stop at different places and just get a good feel of the country. So the first place that we'll be driving to is from Gaborone, and we drive through Mochudi, we drive through Mahalape, and then at this place, Palape, we turn and we head to Serue. And in Serue, we then stop and get to see the town and enjoy the town of Serue a little bit. And this is not a long drive. It's probably about 3 hours or so. And in Serue, they've also got a rhino sanctuary called the Hami Rhino Sanctuary. So there we'll go, we'll spend a day, we'll see these animals that look very prehistoric in their appearance, in my view. And you get to learn about it. We do walking safaris here as well under the supervision or guidance of the rangers. And you get a good feel of the land and these animals and learn about white rhinos, black rhinos, what's the difference, and a lot of things as well about conservation and poaching and the different attempts that have been made to cut back on poaching, like dehorning the rhinos. So all of that and more we'll get to learn at the Rhino Sanctuary. And this is a close-up, and I'm sure you'll agree that these things really look prehistoric. And after that, we then drive from the Serowe area and we go, and you see here, there's something called the Mahati salt pans. Salt pans are an amazing place to be in. When you go there, there is just emptiness and vastness, and you'll find that you're the only people who are there for miles and miles and miles, and all it is white salt that's in that place. And there's nothing as amazing as spending a night in this very isolated place and quiet. And you look at the stars and you listen to the animals that are around there. It's just an amazing experience that you will not get anywhere else. So this is something to look forward to, spending time in the salt pans of Botswana. Then from the salt pans, we will drive to Maun. Now, Maun is the main tourist center, tourist city for Botswana because it is next to the Okavango Delta. So we go to Maun, and that's where we then get introduced to the Okavango Delta. The Okavango Delta is one of the seven wonders, seven natural wonders of the world. And what it is you get rivers that flow in from Angola and they bring water into the desert. So these are rivers which actually supply the desert with water and they form a delta. It's one of the few deltas in the world that doesn't connect to the sea because essentially once it gets into the delta, it evaporates. And the flooding of the Okavango Delta occurs mostly between about June and August. And because those are the dry seasons, the animals then come and congregate in the delta. So for animal viewing, the Okavango Delta is an amazing place to be. So this is an aerial view of what the Okavango Delta looks like. And this is more on the ground. Within the delta, there are these little canoes called Morocco that the Tswana people have. And you have a guide who stands at, he's got a long staff or stick, and that's what he uses to just move the boat along. And you see such amazing game as you go along in these Moroccos, an experience that you will never forget. Now, one of the videos that I took from my phone the last time that I was there, it was amazing. We identified a leopard in a tree, and then this leopard just jumps down and just runs off. And it's just so peaceful and it brings such joy to see animals in their own environment and being able to do what they want to do freely. The other animals that we saw the last time that we were there were these wild dogs. These creatures are so ugly that they're beautiful with such big ears. They just look like they've got oversized ears and they walk around in packs and live in packs. And just observing them and seeing how they live was also part of the fun of being there. So what you will do is you will actually cross through the national park, so through the Delta and through Chobe National Park and end up in a town called Kasane, which is in the far northeastern corner of Botswana. Kasane, small little town that has the Chobe River. One of the things that you will truly enjoy is if you go on a boat cruise on the Chobe River and you see the elephants. The last time I was there, it was so nice to see a whole family of elephants walking across the river, and the baby elephants holding their trunks hold onto the tail of one of the adult elephants as they walk along and they cross the river that way. Beautiful experience, things that you will never forget. And then on the final day, we will cross over into Zimbabwe, where we will go to see the Victoria Falls, which in the local language is the Mosi Oyatunya, which is the smoke that thunders. And this is one of the seven wonders of the world yet again, and it is an amazing sight to behold. So this was a double rainbow that was at the Victoria Falls the last time that I was there, and it was a very nice video. And there's a section of the falls where the splashing just comes out and forms a rainforest. So you actually feel like it's raining, but all it is it's just the splash coming from the Victoria Falls as you're walking along. So that is an overview of what the Botswana tour is with Tagalong Safari and what it will be all about and what you should expect to see. So go to our website, www.tagalongsafari.com, go to that inquiry button and just click on that and make your booking, or if you have questions or inquiries, there's an inquiry button there, or you can contact us directly on info@tagalongsafari.com and ask whatever questions you want. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that like button and the notification button so that whenever we've got a new video, you're one of the first people to know. Thank you and have a great day.